Wrestling fans are here backstage at RWI in Welland, Ontario. It's another one-on-one. And this week, fans, I'm with a man who is just the biggest star, probably the biggest star you've never heard of here in the United States. I'm talking about Joey Legend, a man who is big in Europe. I mean, you've wrestled everywhere, Joe.
Yeah, a lot of places. Did you have to use the word "just" in any portion of that? Is that really necessary?
Well, that was kind of a segue. I mean, you did do Justin Joe as, you know, in the WWE. So talk a little bit about that.
I just hated every minute of it. I thought it was a waste of my time. But you know, it was good money and good travel, so I can't complain entirely. But basically, everything I've done since then has kind of been in spite of what Vince did with me, not, you know, because of it. Yeah, it was a pointless gimmick. Once I got the Kurt Angle Hunter feud started, there was nothing more for me there. And then I went to Memphis to redo the gimmick. I came up with an idea on how to kind of shift it into something productive, but then they bought WCW. They had all the talent they needed for TV, and they didn't need to hold anybody from going to another company because there was no other company, at least nobody of any real threat. So they just let go a ton of guys. And since I'm Canadian, they're paying extra money on tax issues and stuff, bringing me in, paying for visas. It made sense for them to bounce me and like Jason Sensation and a few other guys that they weren't planning on using anyways. It's just unfortunate that things panned out the way they did. I'm
kind of going backwards here. Let's go back to, you know, when you started. You have wrestled with Edge. You were trained by Ron Hutchinson. Exactly. Talk a little bit about that.
Shoot, I've been training about 2 years, and then I went to Japan for FMW. And when I came back, Edge had started training. And he's a polite enough guy. I didn't think much of it, but he started hanging out with me and a guy named Keith Assoon, wrestled as Zach Wilde and Johnny Destiny, a bunch of other names. Great one. He's probably the best talent you never heard of. He's gone on to be an actor now. But you know, Keith started hanging out with him, then asked me, "Yeah, come on, you got to hang out with Adam." So we all started hanging out, and then his best friend Jay Christian came on board. And then we started going down to Detroit together, all as kind of a unit. I started kind of making headway into different areas just because the FMW thing on my resume opened a few doors. So then as soon as I opened the door, bam, come on guys, come on in. So I ran everybody in, and we started the Thug Life gimmick in Detroit, where we were, you know, we burnt the American flag in the middle of the ring and started a few riots and stuff and got Rhino involved. And, you know, then Adam got signed with Vince. I kept doing tours like South Africa and stuff like that. Then I eventually moved on to Vince. Christian had already been there. And then since, I really haven't talked to Adam a whole lot. I talked to him just after Christmas in a couple of emails, but no heat or anything. Just we've kind of, you know, both gone in different directions and haven't really kept up as probably much as we should. Though Christian and I talk at least once a week.
You do talk to Christian?
All the time. One of my best friends.
How does he feel about TNA? Does he talk a lot about it, or?
I don't want to bury him.
No, not at all.
No, but I mean, they're taking pretty good care of him. He loves the money. It's segued into another thing. He's going to be writing reviews of video games for a magazine. He's making a good chunk of change for that. I wish I could tell you the name of the magazine to plug it for him. It's
all right.
But it's sending things in the right direction.
We have Google, so we can just...
There we go. Just sort it in there.
We'll find it.
Yeah, but he's he's happy with the direction it's going because he's less time on the road. Guy spent, what, 10 years every week on the road all the time, so TNA giving him time off, he can't complain.
I mean, when he was making his decision to go to TNA, did he consult you?
Well, I mean, he called me because I had issues with TNA as well. I hated my time there too. Maybe I just have a problem with authority of any kind, I guess. I'm just difficult, damn it. But yeah, I told him basically what to expect, who the snakes were, and who the all right guys were. And they already kind of had a bit of a hero worship for him, A, because he's really talented, B, because he was kind of one of the few internet darlings that Vince has. Pretty much all the internet fans kind of on everything Vince does, or pee on him, sorry. On everything Vince does, and you know, it's all Ring of Honor and Dragon's Gate and all these kind of smaller promotions. But Christian had a big following, so they were like thrilled that they could get some internet play, because that's really the only thing kind of keeping TNA afloat, I think, is a little bit of internet buzz on the X division.
Not a big fan of the storylines?
No, I think it's written totally against proper booking to draw money. And I think them being 20-something million in the hole is kind of proof of that.
Yeah, that's a big hole to be in.
Yeah, I mean, when Ring of Honor can be turning a buck without a major TV deal, and TNA keeps losing money with a major TV deal, there's probably an issue that you got to sort out. You
said you have a problem with authority. You've wrestled in WWE, you've wrestled in TNA. What do you find different? I mean, again, you're a big star in Europe. You're very successful. You said you're doing tours of South Africa. You're wrestling in the Middle East. You're big following in Germany. What do you find different wrestling over there than over here in the States and in Canada?
The European fans seem to love the WWE product simply more because it's the big name. I find that when you talk to them, they seem to complain a lot about it, but they watch it every week. They seem to just be loyal wrestling fans. And they don't seem to complain as much. But when they find a niche product like WXW or GSW in Germany, so I think it's just the loyalty of the fans. They're not really kind of hit and miss. They just keep seeming to hit and hit. It's just sometimes I think promoters kind of take advantage of that and don't give their best product for it. They just kind of throw, oh, whatever, I'm just lazy. I just want you to take this because I know you'll buy another ticket. Kind of like how Harold Ballard handled the Leafs years ago. He'll just keep taking all the best talent and getting rid of them and bringing in schlubs because, hey, you'll keep buying tickets. I just think I'm afraid it'll burn out because of bad decision-making from some promoters.
What do you like about Europe?
Well, I married a European, so I should probably say that.
Yeah, beautiful women. I've been a chance to go to Eastern Europe a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I go to Russia a lot. I'm world champion in Russia. Yeah, Russian women.
What are the fans over there?
They're super excited about anything to do with anything outside of Russia. But by the same token, if they know you're a wrestler, they treat you like a king. If they think you're just an American, they hate your guts. It's like, hey, American, huh? I'm like, no, Canadian. Like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, everything's cool. But they hate Americans. Anything to do with George Bush, they hate. I just got Raven booked on a show over there. And in front of 5,000 people, just the name George Bush came up for 2 seconds. And
instant heat.
Yeah, it was more heat than if I battered a child. It was ridiculous.